off. Okay, just a second. Just a second. Just give me a moment. Let me know if I'm audible and you can see me.
Yeah, you
Just,
are absolutely visible and audible properly.
okay.
So
Okay.
we will be starting the session once the live YouTube live begins, and we'll let you know.
Sure. Sure. I will just check things.
So hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session on career mentorship. And I am Devoshi Roy, the president of the Startup Club by MCKVIE. I welcome you all. And today's session is going to be very interesting. And we have with us Sunyul Hossen, who was a student like us, and he passed his engineering from Netaji Subhas Engineering College. And after that, he went on to do internships in different companies. He got offers from Goldman Sachs, Adobe, and many more. He's also the founder and CEO of CS for All. So, without uh, giving much more introduction by me, let's hand over the virtual stage to Sanyul. So, Sanyul, if you can unmute yourself and talk much about this CS for All, first of all, and second of all, your journey from being an engineering student to a founder and a CEO of such a platform with such great engagements, and your YouTube channel uh, as well. So over to you, Sanu.
Okay. Thank you, Devoshi. So the first thing I would ask everyone is everyone comfortable in Hindi or should we continue the session in English? Anything you want, I would be going with that. So let me know in the chat once if everyone English. Okay, fine. English. Okay. ठीक है. चलो. So many people might not know me yet, and many might know me. So basically, my name is Sunyul Hossen. I am from a very neighboring college in Kolkata, Netaji Subhash Engineering College. So I started off as a NEET aspirant. So even in 2018, when I got into an engineering college, Netaji Subhash Engineering College, I was preparing for my NEET exam again. So I sat for NEET exam in 2018 end or 2019 start. After that, I again got offer to sit for medical college, but unfortunately I couldn't confirm it, and the seat was given to somebody else. So I was late basically to acquire that seat. And after that, I had no other plans but to join companies, big companies, of course. So I had this dream of joining Google someday, and I actually didn't know what to do at that moment. Like I was in starting of second year. I didn't know actually. Third semester, you don't know what you need to do. And I see many of you still have this confusion. How can we get into big companies? Is college academics or maybe some development enough for being, for acing the interview rounds of all these big companies? So I was also in that dilemma. What should I do? Shall I do competitive programming? Shall I do only development, build some great projects, and maybe Google, Amazon, Microsoft see that project, they get impressed and they call me for an interview, and then they give me an offer. So I was in this dilemma: what to do? Competitive programming, development, freelancing, what to do? I was not sure. Even I thought maybe if I perform well in the college, if I perform well academically, I might get a good placement. Maybe Google will come to my campus and select me, give me an offer. I was not sure about what companies would even come to the campus at the end of my fourth year or at the end of my third year. I wasn't sure about the companies as well. So after that, I started seeing some YouTube videos. Many influencers came at that period around end of 2019 and starting of 2020. Many influencers came, and then I started to know that yeah, if you do DSA, if you are a good problem solver, if you are doing little bit or intermediate level development, and you are good with your interpersonal skills, your soft skills, your behavioral skills, then you have a great chance of getting an interview offer and cracking that interview and getting an offer from that particular company. So I followed that step. I initially started with Discord. So I was doing, I was making bots in Python with the help of Python. So I got an apprentice offer from Discord, California. So it was remote. I was sitting at home and I was doing the job. Okay. After that, I was a little bit into freelancing. So I started freelancing just to earn some money, and I didn't know what domain I should get into. I first of all thought of maybe let's go with website designing, front end designing, and then once I started learning front end design, I started getting clients. The clients told, "Can you make a full scale project? Can you make the back end as well for the front end part?" So I thought, let's get into full stack development. Then I started learning full stack development. In 6 months, I was having a good client base. I had clients from California, Germany. Also, I had major clients from Noida, Delhi area. Okay, so I was totally into freelancing. I was earning a lot of money out of college, out of any generic software engineer roles. So after that, I got a contract from Reliance Jio to build their local shop website. Okay, so I built their website and I also maintained their website for 3 long months. After that, I started preparing for internships in maybe at the end of my second year. So I got an offer from American Express. And I will tell you one short story between this phase, like getting an offer from Reliance Jio and then getting an offer from American Express. So in between, I also worked as a personal assistant. Okay. So I worked in different domains, be it a personal assistant, be it technical content writer, be it software engineer roles, be it data engineer roles. I have been into all of these domains. Okay. So I worked as a personal assistant for a person who was sitting in Indonesia. He was working on Oracle, and I worked as a personal assistant for him for 1 long month. He liked my work and he referred me to American Express here in Delhi. Okay. So after I got referred, I got the internship offer from American Express. I worked for 4 long months. After that, I joined Adobe. So I directly applied to Adobe and I got the interview access. I gave the interviews for the first time around summer 2020, but there was a delay due to COVID, and I did not get the offer that time. Okay, again I gave the interview in September 2020, and I got the offer, and I joined them in November 2020. Okay, I worked there for 6 months, and then I started building a coding culture in my college. So if you are, you have experience with getting internships, you have experience with working in startups, then you actually, that interest of cracking more offers for that particular moment, it becomes silent. You want to do something else now. So I had that same thing in my mind that, yeah, enough giving interviews, enough getting internships. Let's do something else. Let's build a coding culture in college. I started with a small team, very small team. Then it expanded to 26 people. And I have my team today with me actually. So we have Devarup, Soham, Shubhojit, Arjun, Jyotiraditya, and we also have Tanmay. I don't know if Tanmay is present in the meeting, but we have this team, and this particular team, except Jyoti and Arjun, this particular team, when I was building the coding culture in college, this particular team, they were in the first year. So we got connected, and right now we are working together. So basically, networking is very, very important at whatever level you are. Okay, from a personal assistant to intern at American Express, the networking helped me. From first year of college to a startup co-founder, networking will help you a lot in this phase. So basically, after the coding culture, like I miserably failed with building the coding culture in the college because we didn't get an official tag from the college authorities, and we had to drop that plan. After that, I had my on-campus placements. Amazon came in. I was not well aligned with the topics at that time, the DSA topics. I was working on building something for 6 to 7 months. I did not practice DSA in that phase, and I miserably failed again in the Amazon interviews, which came to my campus. So something was placed in front of me as an offering, and I couldn't take it. Okay, so on campus Amazon offer, I got rejected. After that, I thought, let's get again get back into track. Let's practice DSA once again. Let's refine the algorithms which I prepared long back. So I did that. I tried hard for 2-3 months to get an interview from Google. So back in those days, 2021 ending, if I say November, December, back in that time, it was pretty hard to get an interview call from Google. As far as I remember, I cold mail many people, let's say 30-40 recruiters. I cold mail them, but I didn't get a response. Finally, someone from Bangalore, Divya, okay, I don't know the full name. Her first name was Divya. So she reached out to me that, we like your profile. We want you to sit for an interview at Google. So I sat for the interviews. I was not sure because I was again getting back into the track. I was in the phase of learning once again. So I was not sure. I was not confident if I could, actually perform well in the interviews. I had only 7 days to prepare. So I sat for the interviews. I didn't prepare anything. I was having some little bit of anxiety if I would perform well. So I didn't prepare at all. And I sat for the interviews. I cleared the first round. I got the on-site interview calls, 4 interview calls in a single day. That time I had 8 days in hand, and I prepared a lot in those 8 days. I sat for all the interviews. Finally, the behavioral round, the googliness round, which you call, one of the googliness round, there were 2 googliness round. One of the googliness round, I couldn't perform well. I uttered something which was a blacklisted word by Google, and I was rejected for the offer during the team matching. Okay. After that, I was pretty sure of the things you need to crack any interviews. I was through everything. I went through everything. I got the experience, the things you need to do, the things you need to avoid while being in an interview. I knew everything. And then I started cracking offers one by one. I got offer from Goldman Sachs Warsaw. Before that, I got offer from D. Shaw Luxembourg. Then I had offer from Uber Hyderabad, which is pretty hard to get actually, because Uber asks a lot of competitive programming questions. Now, I had one thing about Uber as well. So I got an interview call from Uber the 3rd time, and then I cracked it. So the first time I got, it was back in second year. The second time I got, it was back in starting of 2022. So I couldn't pass the online assessment rounds. At the 3rd time, I passed the online assessment rounds. I cracked the interview, and I also got the offer from Uber Hyderabad. And after that, I also got an internship offer from Amazon Cambridge or London, what you call. And since it was an internship offer and I had, full-time offers from the other companies, I didn't opt for it. And I also gave interviews for Amazon Madrid, and it was for a senior position, not a fresh position. It was not SD1, it was SD2 role. So it was basically embedded software engineer role. So you deal with hardware as well as software. Okay. So I sat for that interview, and that's a long story. That's a different story. I will tell about it in some other session if we meet again. Okay. After that, I decided to join Goldman Sachs. I did training with Goldman Sachs from November to February, and then I didn't join them for full time. And I started off with a full-time role in CS for All. I'm also doing work remotely with a US-based startup, but that's part-time. But I'm dedicated to build CS for All right now to help each and every student. About CS for All, if I tell you, it's basically an emotion for every one of us. And specifically, if I talk about the scenario in Bengal, there is no brand which is helping the students to build a better future here in Bengal and also to have a better career here in Bengal itself. People are going to different companies, product-based companies, startups, which are lying in tier 1 cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Pune. But we are not having those big companies coming to Bengal. So our motive, our mission is to train the Bengal students, not Bengali. I'm not telling Bengali. I'm telling to train the Bengal students, people who are staying inside Bengal, everyone, be it from any place, everyone inside Bengal, we are on a mission to train these people and to help them get placed here itself in Bengal. We want to bring bigger companies inside Bengal. Okay, so that's our mission. And currently, we are also focused on talking with several companies, several recruiters, several hiring managers, so that we can build the bridge between the students and the companies, the recruiters and the hiring managers, so that you people can get placed in those big companies working remotely here in Bengal. Okay, so you don't have to go to other cities to work for Google. You don't have to go to other cities to work for Uber or Cred, or maybe you won't have to go to Norway to actually work in Tesla in a few years. Okay, so that's our mission. Yeah, that's all about me and the CS for All team. I think I have been talking about this for a bit long. Devorshi, up to you. Yeah.
Sunyul, was the idea for CS for all came in a corporate mind, like you were working in Goldman Sachs, right? So where's the idea about CS for all popped into your head? Like,
Okay. So the idea is very simple. There is a major problem going on right now. I have been linked with a platform before. I wouldn't take the name right now. I had been linked with a platform before. So what they do is they take huge fees from students in the form of pay after placement. Okay, so they have pay after placement models. Now the fees they take, I will give you a sharp reality check here. The fees they take is around 1 or 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. Even if you think of scaler, they take around 2 to 3 lakhs from you to train you and to get you placed inside a company. Now the problem here is, once you decide to go into those companies, train yourself. They will train you a lot. After 6 to 8 months, they will give you a job offer. Okay, they will give you a job offer. The problem here is the 1 or 2 lakh fees which you are giving, half of the amount is taken by the company which is teaching you. The rest half goes to the company you get hired at. You're joining a company after being trained, right? So the company you are joining, the 50% amount goes to that company. The company pays you that 50% amount as salary. After 3 to 6 months, the company fires you. This is the reality of the pay after placement models and the companies who are taking 1 or 2 lakh or 3 lakh fees from you for training you for 8 to 9 months and then giving you a job offer. Okay, so this is the reality. And 1, 2 or 3 lakh fees, in my opinion and in my team's opinion, is not justified at all. It shouldn't be that much. So we are trying to give 10 times better content than these companies and all other companies or brands which are training people, training students, be it a first year student, be it a second year student, be it a fourth year student, be it someone with 10 to 12 years of experience in the industry. Yes, we have 12 years of experience people also with us whom we are training at a very affordable fees. Okay, so the 1 or 2 lakh fees or 3 lakh fees which we see in the market, it's not justified at all. And people are getting better at a very affordable price, a price which you pay to a government college per semester here in Bengal. Okay, at the same price. So you can imagine it can be between 2,000 to 3,000 amount. And So that's how the idea of CS for All came in. And one more thing, the courses which you will see in the market, the training procedures, the training initiatives which you see in the market, they have built all the things, they have sequenced each and everything in such a way that you won't be able to figure out the main problem. Like if a problem, I'm talking about a certain problem which you will face while solving problems, while solving questions. The problem you face is you go through a particular concept, but you can't solve questions on that particular concept. Why is that? Because people tell you the algorithm, people don't tell you how to think, how to analyze the things and get to a perfect solution. People don't tell you that. People tell you what should be the solution. People don't tell you why that solution should be the only solution and how to reach to that perfect solution. So that's how we are helping the students. We teach how to reach to that particular solution. You might have a particular subject in your academy as well. Design and analysis of algorithms. You analyze the things and then you design the algorithm. Okay. So we don't tell you what should be the algorithm. We tell you how to design that algorithm and why should be that algorithm the perfect algorithm for that particular question. So the teaching methodology is very, very different. And also, as I said, we are connecting with a lot of recruiters and hiring partners who will help you get a job here inside Bengal. And that job won't be just 5-6 lakhs per annum job. It will be at comparison if we talk about offers from Bangalore, offers from Mumbai, offers from Hyderabad. It ranges from maybe 20 lakhs to 60, 70, 80 lakhs, maybe sometimes a crore. Okay, if you talk about Graviton, they give you 80 lakhs to 1 crore rupees as well per year. So it can range up to that sitting here inside Bengal. So that's our entire motive behind CS for All. Yeah. So we know that it's not achievable in the coming 3 to 4 months, but we are pretty sure by the end of 2023 or by the mid of 2024, we can get to that point where we are giving job opportunities, which is at comparison to people sitting in Bangalore, but you sit here at your hometown inside Bengal and you kind of work remotely and earn the same money here in Bengal. So that's the entire motive. That's the entire plan.
Okay, so Sanyul, do you think that remote work is the future in IT industry? As you have said
Okay.
that you are bringing the work to Bengal. So
So what I feel is, if you think practically, if I tell you there are a lot of companies which are US based, which are Singapore based, and they are hiring from India. Okay, but people are not aware of that. Why? People nowadays are mostly targeting FANG, right? FANG or MANG, whatever you call it. Google, Microsoft, Amazon. People are seeing posts on LinkedIn. I got placed in this company. I got placed in that company. After this much of struggle, I went through this much struggle and I'm placed at Google. So you will see a lot of posts on this thing. People are getting more narrowed towards FANG. Okay. So if it's not FANG, it's not a good company. So people have this mentality right now. So once you start getting rejections from these companies, you will think, okay, Justpay bhi chalega, okay, Oracle bhi chalega, okay, Adobe bhi chal jayega. Okay? So once you start getting rejections from FANG, you will think, acha, other offers are also good. So when this phase comes, you will see a thing. There are a lot of US startups, there are a lot of Singapore-based startups who pay you a lot. I got offer from, if you see Humantic AI, okay. So Humantic AI is a Palo Alto based company, okay. The founder is Indian, but he stays in US. Now this company gave me an offer of 60 lakhs per annum. Yeah. So 48 lakhs after tax deduction. So that's entire base. No stocks, no joining bonus, nothing. That's entire base. So you get 4 lakhs in hand monthly in your pocket after deduction. So yes, startups, remote jobs can pay you a lot. You get to learn a lot. You have complete ownership on a particular domain, on a particular sub project. Okay. So if I tell you about Humantic AI, what they do is they are improving the entire marketing or sales. If I tell you, see, Deboshi, you have been like, let's assume you talk with a lot of people on LinkedIn. Okay, now if some marketer was to approach you, what they will do? Generically, they will send you a message which they have been sending to each and everyone. They will send you the same message. But what Humantic AI does is it actually analyzes your past activities. I'm not sure if they got access to your LinkedIn chats. I'm not sure about that. I'm also not sure if they got access to your Gmail account, the emails you are getting. I'm not sure about that at all. But they analyze your previous activities, and then they tell the marketer, they give the marketer a pitch which they should be sending to you, and that pitch will be personalized for you. The pitch will contain like a message which will analyze basically each and everything. Let's say you don't want salutations when somebody is messaging you. Let's say you don't want somebody to ask you, hey, hello, how are you? So you don't want that. So Humantic AI's product will analyze that thing. Somehow it analyzes. I'm not sure about that, and I don't want to discuss that. Somehow it analyzes that you don't like salutations. So it will make a pitch which doesn't have salutations. Okay. So it's like I just gave a generic example. It's like a lot in depth. It analyzes a lot of things. I just gave an example. So this is indeed the future, and the right now people are working a lot on AI. So you have seen OpenAI as well. You have GPT-4, you have Bard, right? So people are working on AI, and I feel if you're working on AI, you can work remotely. Okay, you don't have to gather around and work on a particular project for, you know, years and years. You can work remotely sitting at your home. So I think remote is the future. But if you're working with embedded softwares where you need to have some hardware product, you need to have software, you need to embed both of these things, you need to be present on site. Okay, but if you're talking about softwares, only softwares, if you're talking about AI, remote is the future.
Yeah, I was about to talk about AI, but you have touched the topic. So when AI comes, it disrupts a lot of job opportunities that was previously existent, right? So what's your view on that? Like, what are the future job prospects after the AI boom that is happening, that we are seeing right now with ChatGPT and many more to name?
Okay, so I have personally used a lot of things from ChatGPT. So be it content writing, be it some advisory works. Yeah. So if you go and ask ChatGPT, let's say, uh, I can't find a solution to this particular problem. Can you help me? So ChatGPT will actually analyze the emotion from the script you have written. Like if you just like, let me give you an example. Let's say, you are writing, uh, please open the door. Okay, or maybe let's say you are writing, open the door. So this speech is a bit affirmative, and you are not saying please, right? So it's more of a direct sentence, and it's kind of you're ordering someone to do something, open the door, right? So here's an emotion. You are ordering something, you're ordering someone to do something. So you are at a dominant position, and the person whom you are ordering is at a submissive position. But, but if you speak, please open the door, or can you please open the door? Okay. So it either puts you at a submissive place and the person whom you are talking with at a dominant phase, or maybe also at the same level as yours. Okay. So it understands each and every emotion, and then it helps you with the perfect answer. Okay. So depending even on the type of speech you write, the type of sentences you write, the AI judges it and then gives you a perfect solution to it, perfect answer rather. Okay. So AI is like, it can work wonders. It can write content for you. It can be an advisory software for you. Maybe you won't have consultation roles in future if the AI is training, like if we are training the AI day to day, like if you are training a model for 5 or 6 years, it's obviously going to be more and more accurate throughout the years, right? So if the accuracy today is 80%, I can expect the accuracy to be at least 90% in the coming 5 years. Okay, so it's going to be better and better throughout the days, because it's going to be trained on a lot of data sets. The data sets are basically the inputs which we are giving. Okay, so it takes the inputs, it stores it somewhere, and it continuously trains the model on that data even after you are done with the work. Okay, even after ChatGPT has consulted you something, you are done, you are satisfied with the answer. Even after that, it will train the model on the input which you give, and it will get better and better each and every day. Okay, so a lot of jobs will be gone, but definitely software engineering jobs won't be gone. Data science jobs won't be gone. Game development jobs won't be gone. Augmented reality, virtual reality, it's going to be like, it's going to boom in the coming 5 to 10 years. And let me tell you one thing, CFA is into augmented reality, or what you call XR, mixed reality. And phase 2 of CFA is completely going to be in mixed reality. So it's completely different take. It's completely different from what we are doing right now. You might be able to see it in the coming 4 or 5 years. And I think it will be a game changer in the education sector. Education sector, what do I mean by education sector? Even in the medical organizations, even in construction organizations, even in mechanical organizations, whatever requires education, CFA is going to be into that. And it's completely different from what you are seeing right now. Okay, so yeah, that's a basic hint of the future.
Okay, so Sanyul, as you have earlier said that every software engineer's dream is to go into FANG, but as I was also reading that few of IIT Kanpur people were placed in James Street, which was offering a record breaking of 4 crore placements or something like that. So people really don't know about companies to approach other than FANG. They dream about FANG and they go and apply in these companies, they fail and they give up on their dreams. But there are many more companies which are available in the market, which gives a similar kind of offer and probably gives a better pay or something like that. So how do the people, a student like us, would get to know about those companies and their recruitment process and how to approach them to get a job like that?
Okay, so basically I will tell you about the approach at the end. So first of all is awareness, right? So if I talk about 2019, 2020, if Google was to give a job opening, at max 1,000 to 2,000 students would have known about that opening, because there were no influencers back in those days. There was no active YouTube community here in India which was related to coding. There were some old school people. If you know Humble Fool, so uh, uh, he passed away in 2016 or 2017. I don't remember exactly. He was one of the best coders here in India. He was first red coder in AdCoder platform, I remember. So if you have seen my code school YouTube channel, you will know about Humble Food. So basically, you like you need to be active on LinkedIn first. So it's one of the major platforms. You need to be active on LinkedIn. You need to have channels in your YouTube feed which regularly shares job opportunities. Okay, CS for All is one of those channels. And again, CS for All on LinkedIn shares 6 to 7 job opportunities from different companies daily. Okay, And those companies are not only Fang or Mang. There are a lot of startups. There are a lot of other top product companies which don't fall into the Fang category, but pays at par or maybe more than the Fang companies. Okay. So you can go and follow CS for All LinkedIn channel. You can go and check out CS for All YouTube channel. Even you can go and check out our website, csforall.in. There you will get a complete job section. You can put on alerts so that whenever a job comes up, you get notified through your mail. Okay, so you can do that. Other than this, so we are playing like equally for product companies, service-based companies, FMCG, hedge fund companies, again startups. So we have opportunities from all these type of companies, not only focused on product companies, all these type of companies. So you get a mix of each and everything in that particular platform. Okay, so you can go and bookmark the platform. Other things which you can do is, if you're completely into startups, okay, if you're completely into startups, you can go to angel.com. Okay, Angel List, what you call it's called Well Found right now. Okay, so you can go to Angel List. You can search for startups job there. So what you need to do is, it's very simple. You need to put on some software engineer or data engineer or product manager, whatever roles you are focused on to. You need to put that role in the filter, and then you need to put the location. If you want to work in Europe region, put Europe. If you want to work in Asia region, put Asia. So all companies, all job openings from those region, and based on the particular role you were looking for, be it software engineer, data science role, whatever role you are interested in, all those roles, all those openings will come up in the Angel List. Okay, now these companies, as I said, they pay up to 300 maybe 350,000 US dollars. Okay, so 350,000 US dollars, it stands nearly about 2.8 or 2.9 crores here in India. Yes, so the 4 crore job offers, they might not give you 4 crores in a single year, but sitting here in India, you can earn that much amount in a single year. I'm not kidding at all. So when a few months back, a person came up and said competitive programming is not necessary at all for placements. Even you can get remote offers, even you can get 40 lakh offers sitting here in India. The person was absolutely correct. The person was absolutely right. You can get 40, 60, 80, 1 crore offer, even more than that. As I said, 3 crore offer as well, sitting here in India if you have the skills. Okay, you don't need competitive programming at all to crack these companies. But if you ask me, honestly, do you need competitive programming? Yes, but for which companies? If you are looking to crack maybe Uber, okay, maybe Uber, you need to have little bit of practice in code forces, or maybe little bit of practice in code chef to crack the online assessment rounds. Okay, and believe me, the interview rounds for Uber are on the advanced side. You need to have advanced DSA knowledge. You need to have prior experience with 4D, 5D, DP. You need to have prior experience with different varieties of tree, be it chord tree or any other. Okay, so you need to have some CP knowledge. For few companies here in India, one of them includes Uber, others Coordination, which we call Trilogy right now, others Graviton, but you don't need CP for other companies. Okay, and definitely not for startups. If you're going international, no requirements of CP. They won't ask you CP questions. The coding questions are not that much advanced if you're going international. Okay, so more focus is on your development. More focus is not basically on the level of development you did, but whatever development you did, you own it completely or not. Okay, even if you are working on an intermediate project, you should completely own it. You should know in and out of the project. Whatever the questions they ask, you should have a proper answer for it. You should justify that you worked on that project and not somebody else. You should be justifying your impact. Okay, so impact works a lot when you are going international. Coding skills work a lot when you are staying here in India. But not CP level. CP is for few companies, okay? And that should be your approach. If you're going international, work little bit, not little bit, intermediate level DSA, a good level development, like whatever you are making, whatever projects you're working on. If you're working on a research project, if you're coding that thing, you should have complete knowledge of it. And a lot of focus is on your behavior, on your communication skills, on your soft skills. Even if I have seen people who are getting international offers, even after getting the offer letter, recruiter ghosts them. So don't celebrate until and unless you are getting the appointment letter. Okay, the appointment letter will give you basically when you need to join, the day of your joining. Okay, so even after getting interview, like even after getting an offer letter, recruiters can ghost you. Okay? So you need to have very good communication skills to guarantee that offer. Even after you are getting an interview offer, you need to connect with the recruiters. You need to have a good conversation with them on a regular basis so that they keep you in mind, and then they give you the appointment letter as soon as possible. So I have seen this happen with a lot of my friends. So this should be your approach. And talking about one more thing, system design is also in the phase right now. Companies are asking a lot of questions on system design. If you're going for startups, LLD is a must. If you're going for startups, hear me out, LLD is must. You should have knowledge on LLD, how you are designing the architecture of a particular product. If they ask you to build WhatsApp, you should know how you should be building that WhatsApp. We build projects, but we don't have that practical idea why we are building the component, how the components are connected. So that's basically HLD, high level design. You are architecting the thing. You are thinking of what architectures you should be going on with. It should be monolith. It should be microservices. What kind of architecture? What should be the load balancer doing here? So all these things fall in the high level design. And when you start coding that thing, when you start coding the architecture, that gets into low level design. So you need to have knowledge of HLD and LLD now to get into startups. And few companies here in India which falls into the FANG category. One of them is Uber. They ask you LLD, machine coding round, they call it. Atlassian asks you, Browser Stack asks you, LinkedIn asks you. Okay, even Amazon used to ask you back in 2020, but right now they don't ask here in India. But if you're going to Europe locations, be it Madrid, be it Italy, be it London, they will ask you LLD question. They will ask you to do API design. Okay, HTTP requests. So these are important.
Okay, so the next question is around what a first year or second year student who is currently pursuing his or her BTech should go about so that after completing his or her third year or fourth year, they can go for a job like this, a dream job they are planning to get. So, what should be their approach to problem solving, coding, programming, development, or whatever it is?
One thing I would always say is people will tell you to practice sheets. It's good to practice through sheets. People will tell you to do to sit for competitive programming contests. People will tell you go to code forces, sit for contests. You will learn each and everything. But that's not how it works. You need to make a list of algorithms. You need to make a list of algorithms which you need to prepare before your interviews. Okay, algorithm is the main thing. If you know the algorithm, be it any question, be it any question, be it a known question, be it an unknown question, be it anything, you can solve that question because you know what the question requires. There will be a lot of story based questions in your online assessment rounds. Okay, so you need to break down that story into a single line, and that single line will be your requirement, the requirement which you need to solve. Okay, so basically that requirement is aligning with the algorithm. So if you know the algorithm, that requirement is solved. So you need to prepare the algorithms. Let's say there are 150 or 200 algorithms. Basically these are patterns. Okay, so you need to prepare those 150 or 200 algorithms or patterns. Once you are done with that, you are like, I can assure you, you will be ready for any online assessment rounds, you will be ready for any unknown DSA questions, you will be ready for even competitive programming contests. You can sit for code forces contests, you can sit for ad coder contests, you can sit for code shift contests, anything. You just need to understand. Okay. One more thing, when you are solving questions or whenever you are going through a particular concept, give some time to it. Okay. Let's say you are going through binary search. I'm just picking a simple topic. Let's say you are going through binary search. I've seen a lot of people struggle with binary search. Why? There is a concept called binary search on answers. Okay. So in that concept, you figure out the range of possible answers. Okay. If there is a question, you figure out what can be the answers. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 10, it can be 100, it can be 1000, anything. So there is a range. There is a range between 1 to 1000. You do binary search on that range and then you find the solution. Okay. So this is one of the concept of binary search. Now, when a newbie who is doing programming for the very first time gets into this particular concept, he will be, confused. How do I find out this range? What should be the perfect range? And even when I'm finding out the range, if I'm applying binary search on it, how is these two components, finding the range and applying binary search on it, how these two components are connected? So a newbie will be confused with that. Okay. My suggestion here would be, whenever you are going through a particular concept, my suggestion would be go through 2-3 questions on that particular concept. Okay. Learn through the question. It won't be feasible for you to go through the mathematics behind it. When I used to learn, I went through the mathematics. I used to read a lot of blogs. I used to go through a lot of old school programming videos from MIT, videos from many old school developers. So one of them is Cherno. Okay, so he's a game developer, but he builds projects on C++. So I used to go through a lot of developer videos and I finally learned the algorithm. So what they do is they give you a well-defined explanation, like explanation of the algorithm through mathematics. Even when you are doing DP, dynamic programming, there is a concept called master theorem. Okay, many of you might not know that there is a concept called master theorem. If you know master theorem, solving dynamic programming questions would be a cakewalk for you. You don't have to think about dynamic programming question. You just need to give 3, or you just need to frame 3 or 4 expression and find out the values after evaluating those expressions. Just put the values in the code and the code is done. So mathematics is very important when you are solving questions, but I won't suggest you to go through mathematics because it's a time-taking process. If you want to cover in 6 to 8 months, try going through a question, like try going through a concept, do 2-3 questions on that particular concept, understand the concept, underlying concept completely through those 2-3 questions. Okay, then try to do some unknown questions. When you are doing unknown questions, you will find it tough to solve the problem. What you need to do is go through a particular answer solution. Let's say you are solving question on lead code. You can't think of the solution. You go to the discuss section. You see someone has written the intuition. Someone has written the code. Go through that code, dry run that code. See how the things are connected. Why was that particular code the only solution to that problem? Once you get to know that, once you give 4 to 5 hours into that particular question, once you understand the underlying concept, once you understand the entire flow, if you change anything in that particular flow, what will be the new output? If you modify any of the steps you are taking through the entire process, what will be the new output? If you can play with these things, you are ready. You are more than ready with that particular concept. So give 4 to 5 hours in each concept. If you are new to problem solving, give 4 to 5 hours until and unless you completely understand the underlying solution. Once you are done with that, I would suggest not to take notes anytime. Taking notes means you are memorizing something. We are not here to memorize things. We are here to understand. Samajhna hai hame. Okay? So you need to fit each and everything into your brain without making notes. After 7 to 8 days, you haven't made any notes. You haven't made any notes. After 7 to 8 days, try solving the same problem which you solved days back. You will find it hard to, actually think of the solution. You will find it tough on the first go. You will find it tough on the second go. After the third time, when you are thinking of it, you will find like you will remember few things. Okay. When you are doing it for the fourth time, you will remember something new. When you are doing it for the fifth time or sixth time, finally you will get an answer. Okay. So it's not that you need to have the correct answer on the first go. Think of the solution 3-4 times. You will find a wrong answer, you will get to a wrong solution. But when you analyze the wrong solution, you see what things you're making wrong, and after analyzing all those things, you get to the correct solution. So once you are done with this phase, you will find you have not taken help from any resource while solving the question. Okay, so that will not give you a feeling of guilty that I have seen the solution from a particular source. That will make you think, yeah, I have solved this problem on my own, even after 5-6 attempts. That will boost your confidence. Confidence is everything you need before your interviews. Okay, if you keep your brain relaxed, if you can convince your brain that you know the things, half of the job is done. The main problem which one goes through while being in an interview is the anxiety. You feel what might be the next question coming to me, what might be the person in front of me, what might be the interviewer in front of me thinking about me right now. What kind of question will he ask? Will he ask a question from dynamic programming? Will he ask a question from graphs? What if I don't know that particular solution? What will happen? Will I lose the interview offer which I got for the one and only time? So these are the anxiety stuffs which you go through before the interviews and even during the interviews. So if you can convince your brain to be calm, if you can remove all the burdens from your shoulder, if you are confident, you need to convince your brain. I'm asking again and again, you need to convince your brain. It's a psychology stuff. Okay, believe me, I have been through a lot. Even there was a phase when I couldn't think of a particular solution. I was completely blacked out for 10 to 15 minutes. I couldn't think of anything. That's because I was not confident. Once I started figuring out that I need to keep my brain relaxed, I need to convince my brain that I know each and everything, and there won't be a particular question which will be asked that I don't know. Once I convinced my brain to do that, I was relaxed. I could perform well in the interviews, and finally, I also got the offers. So you need to be confident. Whatever things you know, that's enough. Whatever things you don't know, that's a new thing which you need to learn. Okay, don't think of it as something you don't know. Okay, whatever thing you know, that's enough to crack the interviews. Whatever thing you don't know, don't think that you don't know that stuff. Don't go into this narrative. Think of it as something new which you need to learn. So that way you will be relaxed. Once again, I'm saying the same word, you will be relaxed. Relaxation is a must while preparing for interviews. Don't keep burdens on your shoulder and enjoy the process. So yeah.
Okay, so it's a lot to learn from you actually, but we are running short in time. So the very last question before we open up the question answer session from the audience. So it's a recession we are going through, right? So how to get a recession proof, like recession proof careers or a CV which is recession proof, and doesn't matter whatever the scenario stands in the world, but you stand out, right? So how to make yourself that much skillful so that we can get a job in this scenario also?
Okay, there are a few things. Uh, First thing is, if you are in first or second or third year right now, you have the internships gates open for you. There might be a recession for the full-time roles for the people who are graduating in 2023. There might be the gates closed for them, but the gates are open for the other batches. You will see, you will go to LinkedIn, you will see people are getting internship offers. So the doors are not closed for you people. Amazon is even hiring interns right now, different locations, be it London, be it Italy, be it Nigeria. Even I saw a few days back, Amazon is hiring interns in India. Okay, so the gates are not closed for you batches 2024, 2025, not a problem. Even if you can't find an internship in FANG, doesn't matter. Go for a startup, learn something. Okay, and I believe there are a few things for startups. So we talked about FANG, right? I told you we need DSA, we need some intermediate level projects, we need to have system design to be on the safe side. If you're preparing for internships, if you know system design, that's, kind of, you are over prepared for any role. Even freshers who know system design, they're over prepared for the fresh roles. They should be sitting for SD2 or SD3 roles. So prepare system design to stand out. Make sure you know HLD and LLD at an intermediate level. You don't have to, be so prepared that if a person asks you to build, NASA's architecture, you just tell them, just give me 1 hour and I will be finished with the NASA architecture. Nah, you don't have to be prepared at that level, but prepare at an intermediate level. If someone asks you how WhatsApp works, be prepared to tell them that. If someone asks you how Netflix works, be prepared to tell them that. Okay, system design is important. And other than that, if you're going for startups, 3 things are very important. First is React.js. Okay, React.js is very important. Second is Python, and third is Java. Okay, so these 3 things all the startups will ask from you. It can be any of these 3 techs. Okay, it can be Python, it can be React.js, it can be Java, any of these 3, or maybe all of these 3. Okay, so if you're prepared with these 3 tech, you are good to go with any startup. At least your development part will be ready. Okay, so once again, I will summarize each and everything. You need to have good or hardcore level DSA if you are targeting FANG companies here in India. But if you're targeting FANG companies internationally, you need to have intermediate level DSA. Okay, so I have I personally was holding batches, placement courses back in 2022 in June, July, August, and September, 4 batches. So my students, one of them was placed as an intern in Tesla Oslo, that is Norway location. Okay, one was placed at JP Morgan Glasgow, London location, Scotland, and many of them were placed in Amazon India, Barclays, Red, PhonePe. One of them was Yamaha, as I remember. One of them was Samsung, then Nvidia. So these companies, so as I told, Tesla, if you're setting for Tesla, you need to have good interpersonal skill set. You need to have good LLD. You need to have good development skills. You need to have intermediate level DSA. So for international, go with intermediate level DSA, good development, good behavioral skills, good LLD. Okay. For India, go with hardcore DSA, go with intermediate level project, go with intermediate level LLD and HLD, and finally go with behavioral skills चलता है, ठीक है, intermediate level चल जाएगा यहाँ पर, बाहर नहीं चलेगा, बाहर you need to be very very smart. Okay, so these are the differences, and there are a lot of things which I think, like, if I keep speaking for 5-6 hours, I won't complete. So there are a lot of in-depth things, but yeah, if I had to generalize, I would generalize these 2 in this format. Yeah.
Okay, so audience, if you have any questions, please go for it. You can also unmute yourself to speak, or you can write that question in the chat box. Anyone, if you have any questions, please shoot. Okay, Shaunak has raised his hand, so go ahead, Shaunak. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, Shaunak this side. So I just wanted to ask, you have definitely cracked a lot of international offers, and not just. Can you listen to me?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. So from international offers to a lot of companies, like today when if I go to YouTube and search Tier 3 International, I don't know why, but your videos comes at the first, like with Nishant Bhaiya. right? So one of the main thing is like, standing out. There are so many people, like the competition is really tough. So if you can just summarize in a few points, if you can, like what were the, like key points which you had in your CV or your experiences which really let you stand out from the crowd and get you those offers.
There is one specific thing, okay, that will actually help you to get interview calls. So I experimented this thing. Like I won't be telling you this in detail, but let me give you a general example. If a company, if a company is hiring for a machine learning role, okay, let's say a company is hiring for machine learning role, but you as an engineer deal with front end role, okay, so you build a front end of websites, you don't have any knowledge of machine learning, but still you apply for that particular role, okay. So the company is hiring for machine learning role, the company requires, let's say, subs like ByLSTM, knowledge graph, okay, let's say the company requires NLP, the company requires CNN, okay. So the company doesn't require front-end engineering skills, but the company requires machine learning skills, but you don't have machine learning skills. So now tell me, if there are a pool of 15,000 candidates, you are one of the candidates. What is the probability that the other candidates won't have the skills which the company requires? Obviously, there will be a lot of people who will have all the skills which the company requires. Then why will they call you for the interview? So you need to understand this, okay. Previously it was a different thing. Previously, as I told, many people were not aware of the openings. If Google opened, if Google had some hirings in 2019, 2020, 1000 or 2000 people at max will be informed about the openings. So it was possible for the recruiter to manually go through all the resumes. If a person was actually credible and if the person didn't actually work on the requirements of the company, the person is a front-end engineer but has worked with, let's say, DRDO or has worked with Google earlier, but the role demands machine learning skills, the company will take risk on the person because the person has worked with good names before, and the company can train the person for 2-3 months and convert that person into a full-time employee. But right now that is not possible because of the huge number of applications. So right now what they do, they pass in all the applications through the applicant tracking system. You get a particular score depending on your skill and their requirements. If they match, the better score you get. If they don't match, the lesser score you get, okay. So the more a person scores while passing through the ATS, the more is his or her chance of getting the interview call, okay. So I hope I could make you understand this process.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Okay, so any more questions or anyone would like to speak up? Okay, so we got a question from Shruti Singh.
Yeah, so basically it's like, if you go and check any opening, there's a job description. So you will see there's basic responsibilities and preferred responsibilities, okay. My means basic qualifications and preferred qualifications. So those are the key points which they need in you as a person and also in your resume, okay. Also look out for the responsibilities section, because there you will find what things you need to do when you get into that job role, okay. If you don't like that particular role, then getting into that company won't be fruitful for you, okay. You won't you won't like working there. So go through the responsibility section as well. It's not only about getting a job offer, it's also about sustaining in the role. If you don't like the role, you will always think of I should switch to other company, I should switch to other role. So don't do that. Also, there is a section called about the team. So there you get to know with which technology you will be dealing, and what are the other persons who will be present with you in that particular team. So if you are a software engineer and there are researchers in your team, so you need to deal with a lot of data. It is giving you a hint that you need to have some data engineering knowledge or data analytics knowledge. Okay. So you need to go through a lot of things when deciding whether you should be opting for that particular role or not. Okay. So yeah.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. Anyone else? So, okay. So I don't think anyone has any more questions to ask. So I'll just hand over the virtual stage to Shobuj. Shobuj will give the vote of thanks for this session. Yes, you are.
And if anybody wants to connect with us, people, so we have already created a lot of WhatsApp groups. So we are already connecting with a lot of colleges, here in Bengal, also outside of Bengal. So Jyoti's, I think someone shared. I think someone shared in the chat. Debarup, can you please share the groups that will be beneficial for each and every student? Yeah, yeah. So you guys can connect with the CS for all team. You guys can connect with me as well. You guys can join the groups. So we post regularly on these groups. You will get job opportunities here as well. Okay. So keep it in your pinned section, specifically the jobs group. So it will help you with a lot of internships coming up to you. Okay. Chalo everyone. Good night. Take care.
Yeah, thank you, Sunny. Good night to everyone.